knowledge is power!
Kicking off our PlusDive for August 2018 is the PlayLink title Knowledge is Power. It's a party game where you use your phone or tablet as a controller. Unfortunately, I don't have any gameplay footage because it's multiplayer only and I couldn't get some friends together fast enough, but it's available for the next 2 months, so hopefully I will get some video footage for you by the time the next PlusDive rolls around.
I thought I was over you, but I have to admit, it was great seeing you after so long. Maybe I was wrong about us. I don't know. It's a big decision. Come see me when you've made up your mind.
Next up is a PSVR title, Here They Lie. Now this can be played without PSVR, but man, you can kind of lose a few nifty touches if you don't play it the way it was originally designed. Overall, it's sort of a horror game that tends to kind of play with your sense of perception, sometimes in a little bit of the way of like Eternal Darkness or something like that. Most of the aesthetic tends to be black and white with little splashes of color here and there, but it's definitely something that you kind of need to keep an eye on. One downside is that playing in VR, it doesn't quite handle the movement well enough to keep me from getting ill. But I have to say I did get to a checkpoint where it actually said, you know, okay, go ahead and take a break before I started to get too sick. So I think it's at least a good balance between the two.
He's coming for you. You have to hurry.
Here They Lie will be available for the next 2 months as part of your PS Plus subscription. Getting into the regular PS4 games, we start out with Dead by Daylight. Now, if you're familiar with the Friday the 13th game that was somewhat recent, this is kind of similar, where it's an asymmetric multiplayer game. You have 4 people trying to survive this trial and power up a bunch of generators that bring light, and once all of the generators have been activated, then that unlocks a door that you need to escape. Fortunately, there is both a door and like an escape hatch that you can get through, so the big bad guy can't just camp the door and keep you from escaping. But if you do decide to play as the killer on the rampage, your job is to sabotage these generators after they've been run, or, you know, go after the individuals themselves. It is definitely a bit of a bloody game. And the idea behind it as the killer is to catch everyone and put them up on these wonderful sacrificial hooks all over the level. Dead by Daylight is available this month with your PS Plus subscription. Next up, we have Mafia III. This takes place in mid-1960s analog for New Orleans, which to be honest. I wasn't expecting for a Mafia-themed game, but the graphics are just amazing, spot on. The voice acting is exactly what you'd ask for it, and there is an amazing attention to detail for the period in this game. 2K really did their research. You start out with an interesting bit of a heist where you're taking some money that's scheduled for destruction with the opportunity to steal more money on your way back out. So the majority of this tends to play a little bit like a third-person shooter Grand Theft Auto type of thing, which, since it's 2K, they're not really ripping anyone off on that. But again, the fantastic graphics, and I think a bit more of a cohesive storyline than Grand Theft Auto. This is definitely an interesting game. Not a good one for people who are easily offended by period sensibilities, though, and they do give you that warning right off the bat. Mafia 3 is available for free this month on the PlayStation 4.
The Deadwalker army, an endless horde of undead creatures under the Ice Lord's command, swept down from the mountains in the north, annihilating all resistance on the continent.
The first of our PS3 freebies this month is Bound by Flame, which is sort of an open-ish adventure game, sort of in the vein of Risen 3. That was one of the May freebies, but this was a lot less painful to play. In fact, I actually kind of enjoyed this. It's got an interesting, fairly straightforward crafting system, which is great. So you can make traps in this example here. But pretty decent graphics for the PS3. The story was good, as much as I saw of it. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you decide to pick this up and give it a shot. Plus, this title screen is amazing. Bound by Flame is available for free this month with your PS Plus subscription. And with that, you're tossed into the second PS Plus freebie for the PS3 this month, Serious Sam 3 BFE. This was made to show off the Serious engine, and to be perfectly honest, I don't think it came across with the PS3 very well. I know I mentioned I got a little bit sick playing Here They Lie earlier in PSVR. To be honest, this game made me sick faster. I don't know if it was an uneven frame rate or screen tearing or what. I also got pretty lost. But hey, it's an FPS if you want to poke at it, and it was completely free, and it's free for you as well for the rest of this month with your PS Plus subscription.
Hanzo acted rapidly. In slow motion, he dropped his second breakfast bag and drew his powerful, super sharp and awesome blade.
A pirate? A monkey?
A pirate monkey zombie, to be exact. Actually, a lot of them.
Let's rock!
Are you ready to rock with Draw Slasher? This one is the first of our PS Vita freebies this month. It is playable on PS TV, but I think it would probably have been a lot more fun on the Vita's touchscreen. That said, it wasn't that bad using the controller, and the gameplay is pretty straightforward. The boss fight was kind of interesting. I had to almost anticipate when he was going to land the hits properly, but it's got an interesting sense of humor and really good graphical style. I definitely enjoyed this bit. Draw Slasher is available on the PS Vita with your PS Plus subscription this month. Lastly, we have Space Hulk, which is a turn-based strategy game that takes place in the Warhammer 40k universe. And they go to great lengths to make this feel like the actual tabletop game. You have AP and CP to move. In the background, the game is actually simulating dice rolls to determine to-hit and damage and all that good stuff. I actually rather enjoyed this. The only parts that were a little bit tricky on the PSTV were just menu navigation. Otherwise, everything else uses normal controller inputs. The only other thing that kind of bothered me about this is the graphics on this they're not something that the Vita should have problems with, but they're slow down and stutter all over the place. But if you can get past that, this is a pretty good TRPG. Space Hulk is available for free on the Vita this month. Alright, here we go. The winner of last week's drawing to win either a copy of Final Fantasy X-10-2 Remaster or Star Ocean Till the End of Time is Wacko, one of my followers on Twitter. Congratulations, Wacko. He chose Star Ocean Till the End of Time, and he's already got his codes. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful and informative. I will see you guys next week with this month's Wayback feature.